Good morning, everyone. My name is Pedro. Today, I'm going to talk about the Chinese Exclusion Act in 1882. But before that, something I want to discuss about, something that come to mind, that what do we need to know about the Chinese prior to the Chinese Exclusion Act? As we understand that the Chinese people, they were already here in the United States before the 1852. So, but there's so few Chinese people that entered in the United States at that time. After the 1854, there's so much Chinese people coming to the United States because of the discovery of the gold in California and railroad buildings and so on. So basically, this is the first wave of Chinese coming to the United States. Another wave that which helped the Chinese coming to the United States, which is the Burlingame Treaty. This treaty, it is the United States basically open up the door for the Chinese that they come to the United States, they can work in the United States, they can stay here, and perhaps they become citizens and stay as long as they want, but they have to behave and respect the culture of the United States. So, as we say that the Burlingame Treaty that helped increase the Chinese in the United States. So there are another treaty, this Angelico Treaty in 1880, which helped also like increase the Chinese tremendous in the United States, which is now like it's becoming like larger population of the Chinese in the United States. But the United States citizens, they were complaining about the Chinese people that they are working in an environment that risky, and they they don't care about how much they earn. They are becoming like they're becoming like competitive to the United States citizens. As in this picture, we see that Chinese remain in custody because they were either be deported or they be uh, let it go to the country. So as we talk about that the Chinese come into the United States because they are poor, but they're not respecting the law, they're not behaving well, or they're not doing what they're supposed to do. However, as I discussed before, that the Chinese, they're not respecting the social norms, social cultures. As a result, that the United States government they implemented a new law which called Page Act. The Page Act is about that banning Chinese women to come into the United States because of the prostitution in California and San Francisco and everywhere. So this is called immoral Chinese woman. So then we have the we have the act, the Exclusion Act, which is 1882, that's banned men coming to the United States. So basically, be more specific about this this act. It's about banning new Chinese people coming to the United States, not the one who are already in the country. For example, uh, whoever Chinese came here before the 1882, they can stay here, they can become citizens, they can work, and as long as they respect the law. But as we know that these people, they are so desperate to work and to get out get over of the poverty, so that's why they willing to work in cheap labors. So as the people know them as the rice and mice. Rice means that the type of food they eat, the type of like the circumstance, and the stuff that they use. And mice means that the, they are so poor that they're so desperate. They work any regardless circumstance that. And also we know that the Chinese people, they cannot assimilate to the culture because just they can't. And that's why the people of the United States, they were complaining about. So as a question come to mind, that the Chinese Exclusion Act framework. So basically this act is really about um, banning or denying the entrance of the Chinese people that who are not show legal status to the United States. So basically, these people, that anyone that who enter the United States, or whoever Chinese, or whoever, if a illegal Chinese coming to the United States without documentation, it can be sentenced to jail for a year, and also be charged for up to 100 to 1,000, and also be deported at the China. So, and also the Chinese Exclusion Act does not guarantee to the Chinese American, if they want to do a petition to the wives, so the wife can come to the country. Basically, they can't, because as we discussed the previous act, that banning women to enter into the United States. So basically, this is a case that going on about Chinese people who are not who are like who are becoming more about a restriction about them. So also the Exclusion Act was the first racial-based immigration restriction in the United States. However, as I described before, that this Exclusion Act is not bad as it is. However, some Chinese can come into the United States after 1882. For example, students, merchandiser, each they can come into the United States, but they have to present legal status such as passport or visa. So as we notice that over here, as the Chinese are increasing in California, the Senator Miller, who is at that time at the at the senator at the state of California, he was willing to protect the people from California because the people or the citizens, they complain about these people because they are, seems like they competed with them about jobs and a lot of place, so basically that's this article talks about. And and here's some issue come after the Chinese Exclusion Act. For example, like as we discussed before, the Page Act in 1875 does not allow women to come into the United States. This is bring a negative effect to the to the to the to the marriage, or to demand that Chinese people cannot populate in the United States. So we know that as a gender imbalance, as a result that a Chinese man can go or goes to China and bring his bride or her wife or spouse to come into the United States so they can become a family. But the Chinese Exclusion Act doesn't say anything about allowing as a relative that, or a spouse that that is tied to the husband. So basically, in other words, like marriage petition were denied. So there is a perfect example that to Chen and Moi 1884 Chinese wife case. So basically, this Tu Chen is a United States resident at that time. So he went to China and he get married because of lack of woman in the United States. So before he went to China, he makes sure that he get the proper paper, the certification that for his entry to the United States. But whenever he came back to the United States, uh, the uh, the uh, the government or the border patrol or the custom did not allow the wife to enter into the United States because she's not a United States resident. So this is like the first case that they were tried to the Supreme Court. So later on, there's many people who were fighting for the the to appeal the Chinese Exclusion Act. So among them we have the two American Chinese who are Wang Jingpu and Yang Pu are these are wealthy Chinese who are very educated. Uh, these people help a movement that fight for the civil right for the Chinese people in the United States, because the Chinese people that came then in the United States, those are poor people. So sometimes they don't know how to read. So that's why sometimes they don't even understand like the laws, they don't even understand like English and things like that. Those are the previous problem that they have. So then we have, like, as we said before, that like basically those are two activists that in mark the way that the Chinese can get right in the United States. So then, yeah, so then in California in 1888, we see that there's so much negative news about the Chinese, and also there's so much anti-Chinese law coming up because uh, basically the most of the population of the California, they don't want Chinese people in that state, in San Francisco also, and also that they were challenging. So also there's a case were challenging into the Supreme Court, but President Arthur, he vetoed the law before, because he says that um, this is a violation of the treaty that we have with the Chinese in the past. So basically he doesn't want to do that, and yes, and here more if we see that. And also there is like interesting article I found about whichever should bring Chinese people into the United States, I will be treated as the failed traders or intruder, because if they don't have a legal legal status to come into the United States or to land in the United States. Basically, what I'm trying to say over here is that because Chinese are unwanted in the United States, they cannot be seen, and also it's like there's tremendous um, uh, um, I can say discrimination, or there's so much uh, uh, race stereotype or stratification at that time. So that's why people, they cannot be uh, being separated by race. And also, as we say that Chinese Act is was one of the first immigration policy towards the Chinese. So after that, immigration law are becoming more stricter, or more scrutinized, and sometimes make impossible to people to come into the United States. As in conclusion, that I will use this source in my honest that some politicians back then, they did not agree to the Chinese Exclusion Act. This act proved that the President Arthur said that would be consenting to violation of the letter and the spirit of which the Chinese signed the bill. For my conclusion that how other Americans feel about the bill. This is the original version of the news, said that Republicans were happy because the president did not sign another anti-Chinese law. So this is like, as we see that the United States has not been that so much about um, um, separation of race, or like goes towards like either separate by race or uh, race stratification, which is like separate each race unique and different and things like that. The United States always being friendly to the immigrants, and so we welcome them, but they have to come legally. That's like the only requirement. And this is gonna be for today. And thank you very much uh, for sharing your time with me. Have a good day. Take care. Bye bye.